And last time I did a live, I teased you with the cover, but now we can have a look at all the loveliness that is inside. So, have you got your copy of the catalogue yet? Do hope so. But for today, I am going to be playing with this bundle. And this is something that it really stood out to me when I first saw it. It's called Beautiful Blizzard, and the bundle is made up of the Thinlits die and of the stamp set. So I thought that's what I'm going to play with today. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get started. What I'm going to be doing today, I thought I would make a card just for a change. And there is my my beautiful Blizzard dies, and sorry, this is, I think, what's this one called? It's just called, let me just check, because Brain has gone on holiday. It's just called Blizzard. Alright, so the die is called Blizzard and the stamps are called Beautiful Blizzard. And what attracted me to this when I first saw it was, I thought, do you know what, I can cut out a lot of snowflakes all at the same time. I really love making winter's cards with snowflakes on. I think they're super pretty. But when you've got, like, you know, 3 snowflake dies and you want to have a whole pile of snowflakes on your card, you know, you're there, you're cranking that Big Shot or die cutting machine of your choice over and over and over again. So this stood out to me straight away because I thought, you know what, I run it through a couple of times and I have got a whole pile of snowflakes. So that is what I have done ahead of time, and I've cut out a whole pile of them out of the Dazzling Diamonds glimmer paper. So I'm keeping them all in the envelope. I'll be bringing those out to play in a little while. Okay, so I wanted to do some blended backgrounds, and I need time for the ink to dry. So what I have done is, let me bring in my webcam here. I've done a speeded up video of myself doing the sponging on my card. So here we go. Please stand by. And here we go. So I'm going to talk over what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So I've got my my brush tool, my Whizzy tool. I thought I'd use that for a change, and I'm just sponging the background with a layer of balmy blue. And now I'm just trying to think, this is Pacific Point. So let's give the card a good layer of Pacific Point. I haven't used this tool when I've been crafting before. It's not a Stampin' Up tool, it's by Be Creative, I think. I thought I'd give it a go, and it does give an interesting texture. Alright, so now I've moved on to Blueberry Bushel, and that is a beautiful, beautiful rich blue, and it's going to finish off with Gorgeous Grape. And there it is. Okay, so that has had lots and lots of time to dry, and this is what it looks like now. While it was drying, I just sprayed some water onto it and sprayed some water into my palm of my hand and just flicked it on like that, and then I dabbed some of it away to make these kind of white spots in the background. Now I've had a couple of attempts at this, and I will show you the others later on, and this one I think I used quite a lot of blue. In the other ones that I've done, and I'll show you later on, I used a bit more of the Gorgeous Grape, so they're a bit more purpley. But you know, I'm going to work with this one today. All right. So first thing I'm going to want to do is do some stamping. Okay. And I'm going to use my Stamper Artist to help me. And let me just get a magnet off the bottom. I only use one magnet at a time because I find that for most things, it's strong enough. Okay, now which way around do I want this to be? I think I want it that way. And I'm going to be embossing, so I'm going to be heat embossing, so I'm going to give this a little bit of a dusting with my embossing buddy. So let me settle that down again where I want it to be. And I'm looking for my stamps, and they're here, right in front of me. If they had teeth, they would have bitten me. So I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to use a ruler to help me keep straight. So I'm going with, if a hug were a snowflake, I would send you a blizzard. That's a lovely sentiment, isn't it? That's really nice. Okay. And I'm going to use the stamp case to support the plate of the Stamparatus on. Excuse me a minute, because I'm just reaching behind me to get my Versamark ink, and I'm just inking up my stamp. And before I do anything else, let's be ready with the embossing powder, which is here. Okay, and yeah, I've just realised there were things that I wanted to do first, but I got carried away and jumped straight in to the interesting bit. But it doesn't matter; we'll work around it. Okay, so press down and stamp. I've lost my view of you a moment. Just 1 second. There we are. So that's fine. And now I'm going to give that some silver embossing powder. And I've got some little cling-on bits here. Excuse me while I examine this from all sorts of angles. Okay. Right, it's going to get a little bit noisy because now I'm going to heat emboss. Alright, I'm going to leave this where it is because it's a very good surface for stamping on and working on. Let me just put the magnet away. And I'm going to do a little bit more stamping. So I've got some more of the stamps from that same set all mounted up and ready to go. And yeah, I could put them on the Stamparatus plate, but do you know what? I don't think I'm going to bother. And I've got some scrap paper here, previously used, as you can see. And where is it? I have Whisper White craft ink. So I'm going to start off with this rather big, cloudy, smudgy stamp. And stamp off. And now I'm going to, oops, just bring that in there. It's gone down there with this particular stamp. Doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter at all. And I'm just going to use up all the ink on the stamp. I'm just going to stamp in a couple of places. And I'm rather liking that. And then I've got the slightly smaller sploosh, cloud, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that one needs a little bit more ink. There we go, that's more like it. And that is starting to look to me a bit like a winter's night. I've got some little spots here. Some little flurries of snow. So what do you think? I'm thinking that's rather pretty myself. Okay, right, put Stamparatus away. So that on its own, just as it is, I think is a rather pretty card front. But we're not going to leave it at that. Oh dear no. So let's get some of these snowflakes. And some of them are very, very small little bits indeed. So I'm just going to pick just a couple just to go onto the front of the card. I'm just going to put a little spot of my liquid adhesive down where I want that to go. So I have a nice big one there, and a more medium-sized one can sit there, and let's have a teeny tiny one that's going on up there. So how are we doing? How is everybody today? Are you all good? Is that? I'm very good. It's the it's kind of the well, it was my last working day today before I go on leave. So yeah, so I'm feeling pretty happy actually. I'm just gonna put a couple of tiny dots there, and I'm gonna pick up my pickup tool. And we're now selling these. This one is pre-Stampin' Up. I've had it a very long time, and they are very useful for little bitty pieces. If you can, no, that one's too small. I'm not going to use that one. Here we go. Here's a nice one. Put that one there, like that. Oops, the blue tacky bit has come out. That's no good. Don't want that to happen. And I think this is a partial one, but you know what? We'll use it anyway. Okay. So yeah, so what do you think of that so far? What do you think of it so far? Oh, card base, where's that gone? Just excuse me 1 second. There it is. I thought for a minute I'd left my card base behind. So this is Night of Navy, and I'm just going to pop this on the front. And this is 4 inches wide, and I scored and folded it at 5 3/4 inches, and then I turned it round and I scored and folded it at 5 3/4 inches again. And this is the full length of a piece of A4, and I'll show you in a minute why I did that twice. Okay, so you could stop there. You totally could stop there, and that would be a very impressive card. It's really, really pretty. Even though I say so myself, I'm just thrilled to bits with that one. But you might want to go further. So I said that the first batch I made, which I made before I did the one that I showed you on the video. I didn't use any blueberry bushel, and I used more of the gorgeous grape, and this is pretty too. So you could take your card now to another level, and you can apply some panels on the inside, and as you can see, I've done a bit of stamping on the inside. And oh, I forgot to do the spritzing, and I forgot to show you the mica spray. So getting so carried away, I'm getting so excited that I'm forgetting some of the bits that I wanted to show you. I made a mica spray with, is it gone? It is some of this, and I put it into a spritzer with some rubbing alcohol. You could use water. I used rubbing alcohol because it dries quicker. And in my spritzer I've got a couple of little plastic beads, and I'm just shaking it up well, and I should have done this first, so pretend I did, and now I'm just going to just lightly mist over the top with my spritzer. Okay, so yeah, pretend I did that first. Alright, I do want to say a little bit about care and maintenance of your spray bottle. So I've got a piece of tissue paper here. I've done all the spritzing that I want to. Dab some bits up just to help it dry more quickly. Right, turning my bottle upside down, and I am going to continue to spray into this paper towel until I have nothing coming through it. Okay, and that is going to help me keep the nozzle working. If you let the spritzer dry with mica in this tiny little tube, and it is a tiny little hole at the end there, the mica will dry in there. Mica's not water soluble, so the next time you come to use it, the nozzle might be clogged, and once that happens, it's very difficult to unclog them again. You might just as well just throw it away and buy another one. You can unclog them sometimes if you're lucky, and it involves things like soaking them in vinegar and all sorts of nasty stuff. So do yourself a favour and just take a couple of minutes at the end of your crafting and clear the nozzle, and later on I will go and I will run, I will spray hot water through that nozzle just to make sure that it is absolutely clear. I have lost too many spritzers in the past because I didn't do that, so learn from my mistake. Okay, alright, so let's pretend I did everything in the right order. Okay, and we now have this, which I think is a pretty nice card, it's rather cute. But let's take it to another level again, and I am going to make one of my very favourite mechanical actions, and that is the twist and pop card. So let's bring in the scoreboard. Right, again I've gone ahead and I've started doing some scoring, and this piece is 3 inches by 8 inches. I scored it at 4 inches on the long side and 1.5 inches on the short side, and also on the long side I made a mark at 3 inches and 6 inches, flipped it over, made a mark at 3 inches and 6 inches. So not sure how well you can see that, but I can see that I've got a mark there and a mark there, and I'm putting them onto my 6-inch line, which I've gone over with some Sharpie so that I can see that I'm on the same line, and I'm just going to join those two marks together. And then the same thing for the other side, lining up the marks I've made at that 6-inch line, and that is done. And I've also cut another piece of Night of Navy card, and this is 10 inches long, and I've scored at 2.5 inches, 5 inches and 7.5 inches, and I'm going to zigzag fold that piece of card. And I'm going to be using that in just a moment. And I'm just looking for my bone folder. It is. Everything's running away from me tonight. Nothing is playing nicely with me. So I'm just going to sharpen those creases that I just made. And that one. Okay. So now this piece, I'm going to fold those edges in so I have that shape, and now I'm going to move that one over and that one over, and that has gone wrong. So what have I done wrong there? Let me have a think. Okay, so those should be right angles, so I've measured that incorrectly, and normally do you know what? I'm just going to go and cut myself another piece, and I'm going to go and do it right this time. So, yeah, bear with me. So, 8 inches by 3 inches. So I want to put a mark at halfway on both edges. So 4 inches and 1.5 inches. So far, so good. All right. So I think what I did is my mark should be 1.5 inches on either side, not 1 inch. So yeah, brain wasn't working properly there. Okay, let's see if this works. Yes, mathematics was never my strongest subject in school. I should have paid more attention, shouldn't I? Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at that. And that's better, that's what I wanted. There you go. Well, at least it proves it's live. Okay. And I'm just going to, with big scissors, I'm just going to snip down and just snip down. I usually forget to do that, and it is a good idea to do it. Oh, and also while I've got big scissors, I'm just going to chop off the end of that piece here. Okay. I'm going to do some corner rounding on this. This is completely optional, you don't have to do it, but I do rather like a rounded edge. So you've probably guessed this is going to be a pop and twist card, which is one of my favourite kinds of card. And let's get some tape. Also some liquid adhesive. There we go. Got my tweezers here. Let's use those to help me get the backing off the tape. There you go. Okay. So I'm centering this and lining the top of it up with the crease of the card. Just fold that over. Okay. And the same thing for this side. I'm going to put the tape on, but I'm not going to glue everything together just yet, because if I do that I will be making things difficult for myself. And while that is a particular skill of mine, I don't necessarily want to be doing that here and now. Alright, so here is my folded piece. It's going to be my pop-out piece. And actually I'm going to trim both of the legs down, I think. Rather than just the one, it'll be a little bit neater in the long run. Okay. So I'm holding my panels so that there's an open one at the bottom, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to put a bit of tape on this edge here. Have I done that right? Yes, it needs to be that way. Yeah, that's right. A bit of tape on that edge there, and another piece of tape on this edge here. Again, if I thought it through, I would have done that first. But if I thought it through, this would not be my channel. My edge down at the bottom, and I'm just going to line that up around about there. That looks good. And then on this side, take away the adhesive and just check that that is working the right way, which it is. Whew. So fingers crossed, when I open it up, yes, it does what I want it to. Alright, so I'm now going to decorate those panels. Trying to be super organised, and I've just made life difficult for myself, so sorry about this. So again, now I cut these to, there's my ruler, so 2 1/4 by 2 3/4, so just a little bit smaller than the panels. Rounding off all my corners with the same side of my corner chomper, and let's bring back. I've got too much mess on my table at the moment, which I don't like. And again, when I'm normally doing a video, I would stop between sections and clear away all the bits that were getting in my way. But you know, it's live, it is what it is, and I don't really have time to do that. So I'm just going to put some liquid adhesive onto some of the snowflakes, and I have got my fine tipped glue bottle here, so I might as well use it. It's the same adhesive, I just decanted it into a bottle. So I've got a partial one there, and let's have one of this kind. And I'm just having some fun now, just popping on lots and lots of snowflakes, because why not? You know, why on earth not? Here's a part snowflake, so we'll use that. Because this paper is so precious. Let's have a little dinky one here and there. Why on earth not? A tiny spot. Pop that on. Okay. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for now. I'll use up the rest of those in just a few seconds. That one over there. I'm trying not to have two that are identical next to each other, because that kind of gives a lie to the statement that all snowflakes are different. Although I'm not 100% sure how they know that. Alright, let's have a look at what's happening while that has a second or two to dry. Okay, right, we're all caught up. And last but by no means least, let's go back to the fine nozzle again, and let's use the last couple of pieces of snowflake, because they are terribly pretty and it would be a shame to waste them. And I'm trying not to be too symmetrical with them, because I'm not particularly good at random now, because when I try to be at random it all comes out looking symmetrical. I don't know why that is. I do try. Okay, this one's a little bit manky. That one's too much the same. Put it there. And this is a pretty one. Okay. And am I done? A little bit of adhesive there, so I'll pop a snowflake or two to cover it up. And okay, and I think that pretty much is it, and I'm just going to leave close it all down, and that is how it's going to work. But for now I'm going to leave it open for the adhesive to dry. So that's it, folks, and thank you very much for joining me, whether you joined me as part of the live broadcast or whether you're seeing this on YouTube as a catch-up. Hope you've enjoyed. If so, I would absolutely love it if you'd leave me a comment and let me know. And yeah, please do get in touch with me either through Facebook, or you can get in touch with me via my blog. I will be posting this, as I've said, to YouTube probably in the next couple of days. But for now, thank you very much for joining me, and it's the end of the live, and I hope I'll see you again sometime soon. So bye bye.